There are truths in life that don't knock before they enter. They crash through our comfort zones, often when it's too late. Today, I want to shine a light on those silent lessons, the ones life teaches when no one else dares to speak. They told us to stay busy. They praised the hustle. They said, keep moving, keep grinding, stay active, and we believed them. But here's the truth, the harsh truth. Busy does not always mean productive. Movement does not always equal progress. You can run on a treadmill for hours, sweating, breathing hard, legs burning, and still end up in the exact same place. That's what many people are doing with their lives. They're running, but not advancing. Too many people are caught in a cycle of constant activity with no clarity. They're checking boxes, meeting deadlines, attending meetings, and chasing goals, but never asking, why am I doing this? They confuse noise with significance and motion with meaning. Just because you're doing a lot doesn't mean you're doing what matters. You can be the hardest worker in the room and still be climbing the wrong ladder. A fast life going in the wrong direction is still the wrong direction. Many people realize this truth too late. When the job is over, the opportunity has passed, the energy has faded, and the window has closed. They look back and say, I was so busy building, I forgot to check if what I was building actually mattered. The world will applaud you for being busy. It will praise your long hours. But the world doesn't live with your regrets. It doesn't sit in silence with you at night, wondering where the years went. So, ask yourself, am I making progress or just making noise? Are you measuring your life by checklists or by true change? Are you living purposefully or are you simply moving out of habit, out of pressure, out of fear? Real growth begins when you stop, reflect, and ask, is this leading me somewhere meaningful? Because if you don't pause to question your direction, life will push you into paths that don't belong to you. Every day you stay busy without vision, you delay your true calling. Every hour spent on the wrong task, the wrong dream, the wrong crowd, takes you further from your purpose. It's not too late, but don't wait until it is. Don't wait until your health fails, until your time is gone, until your passion dries up, to ask, was I busy, or was I building something real? Because the pain of being tired is temporary, but the pain of being unfulfilled, that can last a lifetime. So, if being busy isn't the answer, what is? What's the truth behind our obsession with time, and why we think we always have more of it? We'll talk about that. But brace yourself, because the next truth, it stings even deeper. Time is silent, but deadly. It doesn't ask you if you're ready. It doesn't wait for your fear to pass, your excuses to clear, or your schedule to free up. And here's the harsh truth. Your dreams are not chasing you. So many people live like they have forever. They say, I'll start next year. They say, now's not the right time. They think that time is some patient friend that will stick around until they finally feel ready. But time moves with or without you. We've been taught to wait. Wait for the right moment, the perfect alignment, the feeling of confidence to arrive like a package at the door. But what if that moment never comes? What if the only thing standing between you and your dream is your belief that there's always more time? One of life's cruelest realities is this. Most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they waited too long. They didn't leap when the door was open. They didn't speak when their voice was needed. They didn't act when the fire was still burning. Dreams have an expiration date. Vision fades when it's not pursued. The longer you delay, the harder it gets to reignite that fire. Not because you're weak, but because time has a way of making your heart numb when you ignore its urgency. Time is not your enemy, but it is your test. It will ask you, do you want this bad enough to move now? It will whisper, will you sacrifice comfort for calling? But if you treat time like it's infinite, you'll keep your dream in your back pocket until one day you reach for it, and it's not there anymore. And what's worse, You'll see someone else doing what you were called to do. You'll see someone else walking through the door you kept staring at, but never entered. And it won't be because they were more talented. It will be because they moved while you waited. So let me ask you, what are you waiting for? The right time, the right people, the right feeling. Let me tell you something that many learn too late. There will never be a perfect moment. There is only now, and if you don't act on your vision will eventually abandon you. Because dreams demand pursuit and time. Time rewards those who respect it. So don't sit there hoping your dream will find you. Don't expect life to knock twice. You must be the one who moves, now not later. But let me warn you, even when you start, even when you chase the dream, even when you commit to the vision, there's another danger waiting. One that hides behind applause, behind success, behind loyalty. The next truth. It's about people, and not everyone is who they seem. One of the hardest truths life will teach you is this. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table. Not everyone clapping for you is happy for you. And not everyone walking with you is meant to go where you're headed. You see, we've been conditioned to value loyalty over alignment. We hold on to people because they've been around for years, not realizing time doesn't equal purpose. Just because someone started with you doesn't mean they're supposed to finish with you. Some people are only in your life for a season. They were meant to teach you something, not travel with you forever. But we keep dragging them into places they were never built to handle. And then we wonder why there's tension. We wonder why there's weight. Your table, your vision, your calling, it's sacred. But if you keep giving your energy to people who don't value your growth, who resent your progress, who shrink your ideas, don't be surprised when your passion starts to dim. Some people love you as long as you stay small. As long as you don't outgrow the version of you they're comfortable with. The moment you start rising, they start retreating, or worse, they start resisting. Pay attention. Watch how people respond to your discipline, to your hunger, to your decisions to elevate. Do they celebrate your wins? Or do they go silent? Do they support your boundaries? Or do they guilt trip you for growing? Your future requires a certain environment. And that environment is not built on familiarity, it's built on purpose. And if you're constantly surrounded by people who drain you, distract you, or disrespect your dream, you will not rise. You can't take everyone with you. And here's the harsh part, you're not supposed to. Letting go doesn't mean you don't love them. It means you love your purpose more. And if you're serious about your destiny, you must become a gatekeeper of your energy. Everyone can't have access. Proximity doesn't mean permission. Start asking yourself, does this person feed my vision or fight it? Do they lift me or limit me? Because the wrong crowd can delay your destiny. And too often the ones closest to us become the very weight we're too afraid to release. It's not easy. It will hurt. But staying connected to what's familiar at the cost of your future, that hurts more. Just later. Because the truth is, when you're building something significant, not everyone will understand it. Not everyone will clap. Not everyone will stay. And that's okay. You're not being cruel. You're being clear. But once you've made room at the table for the right people, there's another trap waiting. One that doesn't come from the outside, but from the inside. Because the next truth, it reveals the one thing that kills more dreams than failure ever could. Comfort is the enemy of growth. It feels good. It's familiar. It's easy. But comfort is where dreams go to sleep. You weren't built to stay where it's safe. You weren't made to repeat the same cycle every day, just because it's predictable. Growth begins where comfort ends. But most people never leave the edge. Why? Because comfort lies. It tells you you're doing fine. It whispers, don't risk it. It says stay here. It's warm. It's safe. But deep inside you feel the tension, because you know you're capable of more. The tragedy. Most people trade their potential for peace. Not real peace, the illusion of peace, the kind that comes from avoiding discomfort, not confronting purpose. They settle, they shrink, they stop challenging themselves, and they call it balance. But balance without progress is just stagnation. Comfort becomes a cage, a soft, silent trap where passion fades and potential rots. You wake up one day and realize you've been busy surviving, but not living. Every time you choose comfort over courage, you silence your gift. You delay your growth. You say no to who you were meant to become. Growth doesn't come wrapped in safety. It comes with risk, with resistance, with discomfort. It comes when you do what scares you, what stretches you, what forces you to rise. Ask yourself, when was the last time you did something that scared you? When was the last time you moved without knowing every step, but did it anyway? When was the last time you let go of comfort and reached for challenge? You can't grow if you're trying to protect the version of yourself that feels comfortable. That version isn't built for where you're going. And let me be honest, growth is painful. It will cost you time, energy, ego, but staying the same. That cost you your future. You think you're preserving peace, but you're actually postponing purpose. You think you're being safe, but you're just being still. Comfort keeps you hidden. Growth demands that you show up, even when you're afraid, even when it's messy, even when it means walking alone. The ones who rise are not the most talented. They're the ones who decide that comfort is no longer enough. So if you're feeling the discomfort of stretching, good. It means you're alive. It means you're expanding. It means you're growing. But don't get it twisted. The moment you start growing, the moment you start climbing, the spotlight comes on. And suddenly people stop looking at your heart and start judging your outcomes. The next truth. It exposes the dangerous lie behind intentions, and why impact, not effort, is what truly matters. Legacy is built daily, not eventually. It's not something you stumble into at the end of your life. It's something you shape with every decision you make right now. But here's the lie that traps so many people. One day, I'll make it count. One day, I'll do something meaningful. One day, I'll leave a mark. But legacy doesn't wait for one day. It's not created in a moment. It's created in the moments you think don't matter. It's shaped by how you treat people when no one's watching, by how you show up when you don't feel like it, by what you choose when no one is clapping. You don't build legacy in the spotlight. You build it in the shadows. And most people miss it because they're too focused on what's loud and what's seen. They chase titles, trends, and timelines instead of truth, consistency, and integrity. You think legacy comes with age. No, legacy comes with intentionality. You think legacy starts after success. No, legacy is what leads to success. Every word you speak is a brick. Every action you take is another layer. Every time you show up, even when it's hard, you're writing the story that people will remember. The question isn't, will I leave a legacy? The real question is, what kind of legacy am I leaving right now? Because here's the harsh reality. If you're not building it on purpose, you're building it by accident. And accidental legacies often become forgettable ones. What are you known for, even in the smallest circle around you? Do people feel stronger when you speak? Do they feel seen when you lead? Or do they just remember that you were always busy, always on the move, but never truly present? Legacy isn't about what you leave behind. It's about what you build while you're still here. It's the echo of your daily choices. It's the story people tell when your name is mentioned. It's the impact that lives beyond your title, beyond your timeline, beyond your lifetime. So if you're waiting for the right moment to start being impactful, you've already lost time. You don't start building legacy at the finish line. You build it in the discipline of every single day. But even when you're doing all the right things, even when you're consistent, committed, and focused, there's one more truth you can't ignore. Because at the end of the day, people won't remember what you meant to do. They'll only remember what you actually did. And the next truth, It cuts deep because intention sounds good, but impact speaks louder. People remember impact, not intention. You meant to call them back. You meant to say thank you. You meant to show up, be present, be better, but you didn't. And that's what they remember. We all carry good intentions. We all mean well, but life doesn't reward intentions. Life rewards action. Your intentions may be pure, but if they never become real, they never become remembered. You don't get credit for what you plan to do. You get credit for what you actually did. Think about it. How many dreams have died in notebooks? How many powerful ideas were buried under the weight of hesitation? How many lives could have been changed if only someone had moved instead of meant to? Intentions are comfortable, they sound good, they let you feel productive, even when you haven't done anything yet. But intentions without action, they become regrets. You don't build trust with intentions. You don't make impact by almost doing something. You don't leave legacy by telling the world, I was going to. You become unforgettable by following through, by showing up, by being consistent, by delivering, not just promising. People don't remember the speeches you wanted to give. They remember the words you actually spoke. They don't remember the help you intended to offer. They remember whether or not you did. And here's the truth. There are people right now who needed something you were carrying, but they never received it because you delayed. You thought, I'll do it later, but later became never. The danger. You can spend your whole life meaning well and still leave this earth with your greatness untouched, your purpose unfulfilled, and your impact unseen. Your heart might be in the right place, but if your hands never move, your voice never speaks, your actions never show up, then the world never feels the fullness of who you are. So the question isn't, what did you want to do? The real question is, what did you actually do? The truth is, meaning well isn't enough. Doing well, that's where transformation lives. And the difference between the two is a decision. You don't need another plan. You need to act on the one you already have. But before you rush to act, there's one more truth you need to face. Because every second you spend, every choice you make, is pulling from something you'll never get back. And the next truth, it'll change how you see every moment of your life. Time is the only currency you can't earn back. You can lose money and make more. You can lose things and replace them. But the moment you lose time, it's gone. We live like we've got forever, like we'll always have another day, another chance, another opportunity. But here's the harsh truth. You don't know how much time you have left, and that's what makes it so valuable. Every second you spend scrolling, doubting, waiting, procrastinating, you are spending time, but are you investing it, or just wasting it? You think you're just relaxing, but the clock is still ticking. You think you're just taking a break, but time doesn't pause for your comfort. You don't feel it now, but every wasted moment is a moment stolen from your future, from your dream, from your legacy. People say, I don't have time, but the truth is, time isn't missing. It's just being mismanaged. We give hours to distractions, minutes to meaningless conversations, days to people who don't value us, and then wonder why we feel stuck, behind, or unfulfilled. Here's the truth. You are not running out of time. You're just not owning the time you have. You've got 24 hours, just like everyone else. The difference between the fulfilled and the frustrated, it's not luck, it's not talent, it's how they manage time. Because time doesn't care who you are. It rewards those who respect it and punishes those who waste it. You've got to start treating your time like it's sacred. Protect it, guard it, prioritize it. Say no more often. Be unavailable to distractions. Be ruthless about where your minutes go. Every minute you spend should be pulling you closer to your vision, or filling you with peace, or sharpening your mind, or deepening your relationships. But if it's not doing any of those, why are you still giving it away? You are the steward of your time. No one else is responsible for how you use it. And one day, when the clock stops, You don't get to ask for more. You don't get to rewind. You only get to look back and either feel grateful or feel regret. So ask yourself, are you spending your time or are you squandering it? Are you owning your hours or are you just watching them slip by? Because how you manage your time will determine how you experience your life. But even when you protect your time, even when you manage it with precision, there's still a deeper truth waiting in the shadows, one that exposes the real reason most people never reach their potential. And the next truth, it's not about time, it's about what's driving your choices. If you don't define your life, someone else will. And they won't define it based on your vision. They'll define it based on their comfort, their expectations, their limitations. You are born with purpose, but purpose doesn't activate automatically. You've got to decide what your life will mean. You've got to choose what you'll represent, what you'll stand for. And if you don't, the world will gladly hand you a label, a lane, a life that fits them, not you. Most people aren't living their truth. They're living someone else's version of success, their parents' dream, their friend's opinion, their culture's definition of achievement. But here's the question, are you driving your life, or are you just a passenger? Do your days reflect your values, or are you reacting to everyone else's demands? When you don't define your vision, you end up living in reaction, not intention. You chase things that look good, but don't feel right. You achieve things and still feel empty. You say yes when you mean no. You compromise what matters to please people who don't even stay. You've got to stop outsourcing your identity. Stop letting society, media, or your past tell you who you are. You were never meant to fit in. You were designed to stand out. But that can only happen when you define the standard. What do you value? What do you want to be known for? What are you building, not for applause, but for impact? Don't wait for clarity to come from outside. It's already in you, but you've got to be still enough to listen, bold enough to follow it, and disciplined enough to protect it. Because here's the reality, if you don't set your direction, distractions will. If you don't own your schedule, other people will fill it. If you don't define your legacy, you'll just become part of someone else's story. You are not here to live on autopilot. You're here to build, to shape, to create, to turn vision into reality, not just for you, but for those watching you. Because somebody is always watching. Somebody is learning from how you move, how you choose, how you live. And if you don't define your life intentionally, you might inspire them to live accidentally. So set the tone, choose your lane, define your meaning, and protect it like your future depends on it. Because it does. But even when you do all that, even when you walk boldly in your own definition, there's one more truth that hits deeper than all the rest. Because the next truth, it doesn't ask what you do, it asks, who are you when no one's looking? Character is who you are when no one's watching. It's not the stage that reveals your power, it's the silence. It's not the spotlight that shows your strength. It's what you do when there's no applause, no recognition, no eyes on you. Because anyone can perform when the lights are on. Anyone can act right when the world is watching. But who are you in the dark? When no one's clapping, when no one's praising, when no one's checking. That's the real you. That's your character. And here's the truth. Character will carry you further than charisma ever will. Charisma might open a door, but only character can keep it open. Talent might take you to the top, but only character will keep you from falling. So ask yourself, what do you do when the pressure hits and no one's there to see how you respond? What decisions do you make when there's no trophy, no reward, no instant gratification? Also, it's in those private choices, those unseen moments, where greatness is formed, not in the crowd, but in the quiet, not in the noise, but in the discipline. You can't fake integrity. You can't manufacture consistency. You can't pretend to be solid. Not for long. Eventually, the truth leaks through the cracks. And if your character is weak, your foundation is weak. No matter how high you climb, one storm, one failure, one hidden truth exposed, and it all crumbles. The most powerful people you'll ever meet, they're not loud. They don't need to prove themselves. They don't chase validation. They are anchored in who they are, whether you're watching or not. That's what makes them dangerous. That's what makes them trustworthy. That's what makes them unforgettable. Because when life tests them, and it will, they don't fold. They don't shift with the wind. They don't betray their values just to fit in. Why? Because their character was forged in the quiet, long before the crowd showed up. So if you want to build something that lasts, if you want a legacy that outlives applause, start with your character. Start with your private world. Start with the version of you that nobody sees. Because that's the version that determines everything. And eventually it will show. The lights will hit. The pressure will rise. And what's hidden will be revealed. But even when your character is strong, even when your choices are consistent, there's still one truth you can't escape. Because the next truth, it's not about what you've done, it's about what you've left undone. You will never know what you could have been until you try. Too many people die with potential locked inside them. They hold dreams in their hearts, visions in their minds, but never take the steps to bring them to life. Why? Because they're afraid. Afraid of failure, afraid of rejection, afraid of looking foolish. But here's the truth. You will never know what you're capable of if you stay comfortable in the safe zone. You can't grow in the comfort of what's familiar. You can't achieve your dreams by staying inside your limits. You have to take the risk. You have to leap into the unknown and trust that you'll find a way, even if the path is unclear. Most people wait for the perfect time. They wait for the stars to align, for the conditions to be just right, for everything to be easy. But here's what you need to understand. There is no perfect time. There is only now. The moment you decide to act, despite your fear, despite the uncertainty, despite all the unknowns, you step into your potential. But if you wait, if you hold back, if you keep thinking, I'll do it tomorrow, then tomorrow will never come. You will never reach your full potential by playing it safe. You will never experience the fullness of your abilities by sticking to the things that feel easy. You have to go after the hard things. You have to push beyond your comfort. You have to stretch into the unknown and trust that your growth will come with every step you take. The greatest accomplishments in history didn't come from people who were sure they could succeed. They came from people who were willing to risk failure. They came from people who were willing to face the possibility of defeat and still move forward. Because the truth is, failure isn't the end. It's part of the process. Failure is the teacher that shows you what doesn't work. Failure is the fire that refines you. Failure is the test that proves your determination. But without trying, without stepping out, without giving it everything you've got, you will never fail. And without failure, you can never succeed. So the question is not whether you will fail. The question is, are you willing to take that risk? Are you willing to stretch past your doubts, past your fears, and into your potential? Because you will never know what you could have been until you try. The life you dream about, the success you long for, the impact you wish to make, it all starts when you take the first step. And even though the journey will be hard, even though you will face obstacles, the most important thing is that you start. So ask yourself, what are you waiting for? You are ready. And with that first step, you move closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be. The time is now. Thank you for listening. And remember, it's never too late to start, but it's always too early to give up.